Welcome to Fable Table, an actual play live stream focused on critical world building, collaborative storytelling, and finding the fun in games. Joining me today is the cast of Season 3. What's up, Wildsea people? How you doing?
Hello, hello.
Hi, everybody.
Excellent. Today we are continuing our game of the Wildsea by Felix Isaacs. And this our 7th episode of our, I think we're gonna stick with 10 episodes. Last time we're discussing this after the show about continuing, or maybe it was the episode prior, and extending the season, but I think we can do this in 10. I want to.
Right on.
I think we're in a really good place.
Let's be ambitious.
Yes, we'll see how it goes. But yeah. So let's dive right into our recap. I believe Shannon in our pre-show had started to give a recap because none of us believed that, given her mental state last time, that Shannon would be able to remember, but was surprisingly starting to give a lot of details. So I made Shannon pause and save it for right meow.
I also did not believe that I would remember, but then it all started flooding back to me. All of your little faces looking at me. I was like, oh, that's what happened. Okay. We were right at the beginning. We found a spaceship. We disembark. We go onto the spaceship. And while we're on there, my character sees the computers and she's like, let's go check whatever this is out to go see if there are logs. She cues it up, and I can't remember the language that she speaks, but it's we find logs between Iota and Vulpa, and Iota is the salt and pepper age gap hottie that Vulpa has got her eye on and is very into. So it's very much like a teacher-student thing happening. But they're definitely involved with one another. They have two separate chat logs. One is a professional chat log because they are work colleagues, and one is a personal chat log because they are also involved with one another. Vulpa is watching our planet. They make mention of joining forces to eradicate the Leviathan on our planet or something, or they're studying them. One of the things that comes, there's a lot of interactions that part of this is it's gone from my mind, it's blank. But the thing that I do remember is that they were going to blow up our planet. I think the spaceship is armed with a nuke or something.
Planetary combustor.
Yeah, yes. So there's a planetary combustor that we actually inadvertently may have armed. Was there a button or a lever that someone pulled or pushed? I can't remember.
It's definitely a lever.
It was definitely
right on.
Of any detail, I am surprised that you weren't certain about that one. There was a lot of discussion about this lever.
I'm sorry. Okay, and we're talking to the one of the not a watcher. Oh, but we discovered that the people that Salt believed to be the Watchers are indeed Watchers, but they're just people. They're not gods. And I think Salt maybe was having an existential crisis as a result of that, potentially. And I think that as the lever gets pulled or whatever, that means that we're arming the combustor. Iota, or the older, the salt and pepper fox, the lady is what the fuck are you doing? And that is what I remember. So if there were more details, I am very sorry that I forgot them.
I think you pretty much nailed it. Were there any other details, or perhaps even more interestingly, reactions to this information?
Well, the one detail that I surely focused on was that we found a mapping device that pinpointed the locations of Leviathans on the planet and are trying to put it on our ship so we can use it to find anima. which is the Leviathan that has destroyed Salt's ship, that we have a small part on our ship, and that we are overall searching for.
And don't forget, we also have a data pad that also has this map on it. So we've got
awesome
a mobile copy and then a ship attached version.
Yeah.
I believe the last detail that we received was that Volpa is somewhere on the planet and was still alive.
Yes.
We were instructed to search for her.
Yeah. Iota does not have a way of tracking Volpa since Volpa left her data pad here on the satellite.
You described Volpa as like a tall, really attractive, like dark-skinned woman.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen her somewhere else before?
No.
Okay, so she hasn't been introduced before. Okay.
You've at this point have been sent a photo of both Iota and Volpa by Iota, and you've seen neither of these people before.
Dang. Okay.
In fact, I don't know how to I guess illustrate this point, but there's something obviously different about Iota because Iota is a synthetic person. Like they have a entirely sleek metal body. Think kind of like Edie from the Mass Effect series, particularly in Mass Effect 3. She has like a robotic body that she inhabits, but Iota's is like very large and curvy, whereas Volpa is clearly human, but there's just something different that a couple hundred years of evolution have or more, you know, they just look distinctly different from the people of this planet, of your world. Now that's still to say, Amber, they look different from you.
Okay.
And from people that you know on this world.
That was going to be my next question. It's not like
a significant difference, but
so by that clue alone, I would say that they've probably been watching our planet since long before the event happened. If they are evolutionarily different but similar enough to be considered human, but they look different from me, who's been in the amber for a couple hundred years. So I would make my logical leap is that they were watching before we had the event.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be wrong. Obviously, this is just my assumption as Amber.
Yeah.
The character.
So a couple things. Iota is going to ask you all for a couple things, and I don't want to like play this out in a scene because we have a lot of ground to cover, but Iota is going to ask that you deactivate and disable the lever, or at least secure it again. She really doesn't want you to blow up the planet or plants to get into the ship and accidentally activate the lever.
But we worked so hard to unlock it.
Yes.
My satellite is a ... powder keg. And you all have the match. You all have the ... match. Which is
disengaged it?
You may not even know what a match is. That's how bad fire is in this world. Anyway, do you have any reason not to abide by this request?
No.
Okay. The second thing,
only to watch you scramble to make up a whole new episode if we just blow up literally everything.
Blow up everyone. Yeah.
If y'all do
that'll
it,
ensure that we don't go past 10 episodes for sure.
Yeah, if you all do it, I'm happy to narrate the end of this world.
Herein ends the Wild Sea.
Every story comes to an end.
Some more violently than others.
Not with a bang, but a wisp. Wait, no, yes, with a
A
bang.
whimper. Okay, the second thing.
Yes, is so who are all of you? She asks.
We are the crew of the Taco Tuesday.
I don't think I'm there. I think I'm still installing the computer on the ship with Ollie.
We are part of the crew of the Taco Tuesday.
Scavengers.
Okay.
The ship is salvaged now. It's a wreck. We found it, and we survive by what the wild sea provides us. So,
and currently we are in a way conscripted by the
good people of Ladle's
settlement
Rest.
of Ladle's Rest to pursue and resolve the situation that is the Leviathan anima, as you described.
See, and with what names can I refer to you? She replies back.
Amber.
Wait, did she call you? Or is she just been...
No, this is a text conversation.
This is all text. Okay, fair enough.
Ilstreganon.
It's just a reply from the same contact as though we're all passing the phone around, and it's just, you can call me this, you can call me this, you can call me this.
Wow, are you all from classic Russian literature? You have a million names for one person. Interesting.
Yes. I like to imagine that it's like she just
Exaltair to be smart. Exaltair to be smart, he'll say, or you can call me Exaltair, after whoever went before him.
Gotcha.
Is there a FaceTime button on this chat log?
Yes.
Does Amber know what it is? Is it a camera that you just push the button on the camera?
It's a camera button. Yes.
I'm gonna hit the camera.
do 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 do. You get oh, you found the call button.
Yeah, it looks very similar to what I remember from before I went under.
Oh, you're what do you call it? Amberclad?
Yeah. I was stuck for a long time, but this tech is very reminiscent of some of the things that I can recall from before I went into the Amber. Just bits and flashes, but the camera, that hasn't changed. So
wait a second. Hold on. Computer, pull up records from, and then the you see a mute button and the audio cuts out.
Rude. Rude ass.
And after a minute she comes back. What? Do you know who you are? Do you remember?
I do not. I know that I am human. I know that I went into the Amber, and the name that I was given upon waking was Amber because I was confused, but I had already started to respond to it by that point, and it was too late to change it. So,
okay.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah, I've got your records right here.
What do you mean you have my records?
You're from before the Verdancy.
Yes.
Are you sure you want to know?
How do you... Well, that's sounds ominous. I feel like that's all I've been looking for since I woke up on this like forsaken planet. Yes, I want to know. Yes, please.
Okay. Well, Captain, your name is
Captain.
Amira Levine.
Amira Levine.
Yeah. Look.
I wish that struck anything. That name means nothing to me.
Fair. Well, look. We're I'm really eager to get y'all going. I'm sure there'll be plenty of time to talk more. I'll keep calling you Amber, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's
Or was it Exaltair or Dil Straganona or
I'm Amber.
Straganon.
Oh.
The walking kitchen is still Streganon behind me.
Oh,
Hi.
hey. Are you
He's a cool dude.
You're an Ironbound.
If you say so.
Well, that's what people on your planet call it, I gather. Nice to meet you. I haven't met one of you before. I am a lot like you.
You were also a kitchen and powder magazine?
No. But
Yeah.
made of
You-
similar stuff.
You are born of soup that was never enjoyed?
As I was just telling Amber, we'll have plenty of time to talk, but we should get you all going.
Okay. I'd love
Okay.
to find out.
Oh, by the way, I'm you know those Cosmerius that you've been misleading? Thanks for
Oh.
that.
Is
Gonna
it
have to answer to my boy Salt.
Salt? We should definitely talk later. I'm sure you have lots of questions.
How will we get in contact with
Sure.
you? How will you get in contact with us? How do we know that this isn't just going to end?
I'll keep this connection open as long as I can. I have some control over my satellite, but when I go to the far side of the planet while in orbit, I might lose contact.
All right, we're keeping the data pad.
How long is the orbit?
Depends. Physics and such.
On what?
It-
Prickles will shout from the door.
Oh, is that the Ectus?
That's my dude Trickle.
Sure.
Hey.
I sure hope so.
Look, if you want to, maybe we can arrange a time for you all to gather all the crew at once to introduce me rather than this one at a time situation we have going on right now. I'm really eager to get you all looking for Iota. I'm sorry, I'm Iota for Volpa.
Well, I guess if the only way to get answers is to do this thing for you, and our end goal is the same, then I don't really see how we have much other option but to agree.
All right, I'll be in touch, and then the call will end. Let's jump ahead to deciding where do we go from here. Kind of a big question.
Boy.
I see
Our-
two distinct options.
Yes.
One, we still haven't reached the hearth,
Mhm.
which has been our goal for several sessions now. But two, Volpa is somewhere in the Wildsea. By us, finding her would give us as many answers as finding the hearth.
I feel like maybe our goals are the same here, because if her spaceship crashed and the Hearth are known for being technologically advanced in what is essentially like a backwards planet, the chances are pretty good that maybe she was trying to find her way there in order to get pieces to repair her ship.
Did her ship
This-
crash or did she land it?
I think it crashed.
I think she landed it.
I think she landed it on purpose and said it crashed so that
Yes.
nobody would destroy the planet.
Correct. She's like, oh no, my ship's not working right. I can't detonate it and blow up the planet. I'm going down to seek materials to fix my ship. Oh no, it's overgrown by plants. I have to abandon ship. It's not like there's things my ship can do to free itself.
So then, okay.
I
Where
vote
did she go?
we search for Volpa. Because I would much rather show up at the hearth with her on our ship than to have to go back out and look for her after we reach the hearth, where our leaves would be even more cold than they are right now.
To partially to Amber's point, like there's a good chance that she sought out the hearth. And what other lead do we have other than she's around here somewhere? Like, where are we going to start searching for Volpa? Just start walking around? We don't have like a ping or any way to...
What settlements are immediately closest to us right now?
So just to make one correction to something I heard said, the Hearth is a faction within the tower.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to throw out there that this tower actually has a name that until now I've just been kind of keeping to myself, not for any particular reason, but just like I didn't want to throw it out there until it became more important. But it's actually, if you're on Roll20, I have a little diagram of the tower off to the side there. It is called Tarobal Tower. The port is known as Wither, and basically the rest of Tarobal Tower is known as the Wither Undercity, where they have an engine that is supposedly keeps the tower warm and has since the Verdancy. Yes.
Not to throw us completely off topic, Nick, but you don't know how hard it was for me to spend the entire week not turning your tower into a candy cane. I almost did it twice. I'm not gonna lie. I opened up Roll20 with the express purpose of turning it into a candy cane, and then I chose not to.
I would have been so pleased if you had.
I know you would have, but it would have taken that. I've already distracted us enough.
Who's doing flames?
Who's casting flames at my tower? Damn you!
I'm pretty sure.
It's the engine is it's providing heat. This is how it works. They just like,
oh my god,
blast everyone with fire, and they're warm for a while, and then when they start to cool down, they do it again. So it works.
Oh, I love that. That sounds perfect.
I need to fix this.
Are you disabling effects now?
No.
Okay.
There we go. I was just getting the display working on the stream. Okay. So, is there any dissent to heading to Tarobal Tower? I mean, I'm not like trying to railroad you or anything.
Yeah, I just don't see where else to start looking for Volpa. I mean, she presumably has a like personal vessel because there was like a missing like thing detached from the ship. So I'm assuming that's something she's using to get around.
Yes.
But
okay.
I mean, we don't have like a maybe we can try to luck our way through the tablet that we got, the data pad that we got, see if there's some sort of geolocator for that vessel. But even if there is, I'd imagine that she'd probably disable it because she's trying to hide from the powers that be for them.
Or we could search through her her browser history to see if we can figure out where she was planning on going.
Oh yeah,
you find that the browser history has been deleted. Ooh.
Does she have any personal effects like clothes on the ship?
Yes.
Ooh.
Then we might take the clothes and feed it to the maw, kind of like putting a sweatshirt in front of a dog and be like, Here, guess the
Jesus
snake.
Go find it.
Christ. Let me see. Tamed hive. A buzzing.
How
or
good is our ship's sense of smell? Did we determine that stat?
I'm gonna say no. Also, there's fucking snow everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what scent is gonna be left behind. Maybe if you had domesticated some pinwolves.
That'd have been a thought. All right, my vote has changed. Take us to Terrible Tower.
Perfect. Okay.
To the candy cane we go.
I mean, when we exit the ship, maybe we like look around and look for signs of traversal by any sort of vessel that wasn't our own. Like when you trek a path through snow, especially navigating the wild sea, I imagine whatever you're using, unless it literally flies, might like knock some snow down and stuff. And even if it snows again after that, you might see a depression.
She has a space-worthy speeder bike.
Dang.
How do you think she got over to her girlfriend's satellite?
What?
That's really cool.
They visited each other.
Oh, okay.
At each
Take the
other's
motorbike.
homes/places of employment.
Okay.
Okay. We'll if there's more questions about this dynamic, I'm happy to answer them, but I want to keep us moving.
I think the only other question is like, what is the closest settlement to where we are right now? Because
it's the tower.
Have we gotten? It is the tower.
It's the tower. Yeah.
Tarroble Tower. Not tower.
Torrable.
Not Tower-roble Tower.
Torrable.
It's tar, like Tarmite.
Terrible. Terrible, I said. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna run into like a David Pumpkins kind of a character at some point.
Okay. So I think that now is a good time for a montage. While parts of this leg of the journey, the final leg, are being handled by others. So everyone has a montage action with which to work on projects, to recover, to what have you. I also had given y'all some homework on advancement. If your advancement, if you wanted to like take some time to describe like what you advanced, you may, but if it like in particular, if you did anything with your feet, not feats, what are they called? Your aspects. Yeah. Yeah. Who would like to go first?
I just have a quick question. The developing aspects option that you gave us for our advancement, develop an aspect costs 1 point.
Yes.
Do we also have to remove 1 box to our aspect in order to improve it? Or is that point kind of like buying us that?
So there, the developing aspects on page 90 describes things you can do and what it costs in terms of adding or removing boxes to gain that benefit, or trade off to gain boxes. So for example, the top one, a result upgrade, which would turn a conflict into a triumph in a niche situation related to your aspect, would require you to remove a box, but you would also gain that benefit.
Right. But this is like if you're developing an aspect as part of a downtime project.
I am not having you all take downtime actions or montage actions to gain your advancement. We're just gonna skip over that because we don't really have the time.
Right.
So
well, what I'm saying, like I believe option A is the way I'm understanding it. Option A is I'm doing a project, which right now I'm doing a project for the kite sale.
Mhm.
But instead of doing that, I could start a project to work on developing my aspect, and it would take so many like things in order to develop it. But it wouldn't cost me any like advancement points to do it that way.
The
Well,
advancement.
what is the
Yeah, you can develop an aspect through a project, yes, or you can spend these points that I'm giving you to instantly
okay?
do it.
But the point doesn't change what it costs.
Correct.
Okay, so if I have an aspect that only has one box, I can't do anything with it. Because that would require removing a box.
Correct.
Okay. Unless I add a box so I can remove it so I can improve it.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Well, that's a bummer. So not going to that changes what I'm doing.
Fair enough.
Thank
Would you like to think while one of the rest of us goes?
Yeah, you guys go ahead.
All right. I have one additional question, which will make me decide between two things, and then I will happily tell you my advancements, Nick.
Sure.
I would like to develop my born to sail aspect with the result upgrade you were just describing, turning a conflict into a triumph. However, my born to sail aspect has 4 boxes, 2 of which are marked already, due to me sustaining stings from 1,000 hornets while on deck. If I spend my advancement point to develop that aspect, would I remove a marked box or an unmarked box?
Hmm.
I'd imagine an unmarked one because you still have to do the recoveries to unmark a box.
Yeah, that's what I would
think my
say.
montage action will probably be to try to recover this aspect, but still, I would like to advance this one with the result upgrade so that conflicts become triumphs.
Okay.
Right.
Let's go ahead and I'm gonna do this kind of fancy. Okay, you may now edit your aspect.
Ah.
There you go. Okay. And then you're gonna do like a recover with your montage action.
That was only 1 point to develop an aspect, correct?
Yes, I
So I
think
have
so.
1 more point, and I would like to spend it to upgrade sense from 2 to 3 as a result of the continual study of the surroundings around me and the mad, crazy, friggin' hallucinations that I've had. I now am more attuned to the sense of the things around me, as I am constantly in a state of panic trying to figure out if what around me is actually real. So I'm now paying more attention to it.
Fantastic.
So I'd like to spend my 2nd point to upgrade that to 3.
Perfect. Excellent.
And that's me.
Okay.
I'll take montage when people are done with advancements. Unless you want me to do it right now.
Why don't we go ahead and just get it out of the way?
Wonderful. Okay. Now I have to actually go back to rules so I can look at my montage. I would like to do recovery to, I guess, repairing. Is it repairing gear if I'm repairing this aspect, or is it healing of the aspect?
Clears marks from gear or mechanicals. If you are clearing marks from traits, that would be like aspects, I guess. Well, hold on.
That's where I'm slightly confused.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is one of the downsides of this spreadsheet, these character sheets. Aspects are either traits or mechanical or gear. So which one you're trying to do?
Or companions.
Or companions, yes. So you're
I can use an appropriate specimen or salvage if I can properly describe it to repair this or attempt to repair this.
Which one was it? Born to Sail?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a trait, so this would be healing.
Okay, so a specimen then.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate because all of my specimens are meant for the ship.
Maybe someone else has a specimen you can use.
Or the ship has a specimen I can use.
Or that, yeah.
What is a staccato amygdala?
Staccato amygdala, believe is in relation to the pinwolves. It had something to do with
brain.
They're like quick thinking brain.
Well, that sounds perfect for me, Nick.
Oh yeah?
This is well, yes.
Fuck. Okay.
Quick thinking brain, a specimen of quick thinking brain. This is about me always knowing true north. It's about having sense of the things around me. It's about ignoring problems on movement related actions of adverse seas or damage. It's about spatial knowledge. It's about seeing things before they happen. Why not take the brain of a creature and crush it and then use the juices to heal the stings and the wounds on my body and let it infuse their knowledge within me to help me better gain an understanding of what I see in front of me. Now I see not only as a cactus, not only do I see with my eyes, not only do I see heat in front of me, but I see with the senses of a wolf, Nick.
That makes perfect sense.
You know, I've been waffling back and forth on whether or not that our story is a horror story. I think it's settled.
I mean,
Nick, I'm an amalgam already. Let's just ride the storm.
Aren't we all? Okay.
All right, I'm going to crush this staccato amygdala and infuse it into my body through my pores.
Okay.
I'm going to use the wounds to help it get in there quickly and see what it does to my senses.
Okay.
What would you like me to roll?
Healing. So you can clear one mark, or you can roll, and it'll be risky. What you would roll would be rattle, unless you can make an argument for something else. But you will have +1 for this being super gross and creepy.
+1 dice for advantage?
Yeah.
What if I also claim that this is a 10? As I'm trying to heal this personality
I'm sorry.
trait.
Yes, that makes way more sense.
Rattle
said mending, so I got stuck on that. Yes, tend.
All right, so I would argue exploration, learning, and lore. We have no idea if this is going to work.
Not
I'm going to argue
savagery, passion, and destruction from teeth. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I would argue tides tend with advantage, which would be 3 dice.
Tides.
And if I can roll a 6, then I cure 2 marks. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I think that is what the rules are. Well, I mean, what are we doing if we're not rolling? I mean, why take the instant mark? That just seems bad and not nearly as fun. Here we go. 3 dice. I have a 5, a 2, and a 1.
A 5, a 2, and a 1. Heal 1 mark of the injury.
All right. Then I will heal 1 mark off of Born to Sail.
And the staccato amygdala is consumed. I'll go ahead and remove that. Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
just because I'm really curious, what does it look like to what does it look like, and what does it look like to other characters that watch this happen? To see you crush brains and absorb the juices and use that to, like, is there a difference in how you appear?
I don't know. I would say that I'm probably sitting down by the engine because why not? Because that's where my boy is. And I'm crushing these brains in and letting the juices flow through the open wounds that are on my body. And I think what I do is I start, as a cactus, I start actually like smelling. Like I get the smell of the hive. I get the smell of the bees. I can smell honey now. I can smell this maw with tentacles.
Oh my god, he can see colors.
See colors.
I mean, he can smell colors and see.
I can
then
see colors, guys.
He's
He
got
smells.
ectus synesthesia. Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then whatever is left of the brain matter, I just toss to them all because why not?
Ugh.
It's like the garbage disposal of the ship anyway.
I'm
Thank
thinking
you, Shannon,
Little
for the
Shop of
love on-
Horrors.
Yeah.
plant.
Feed me, Seymour.
I'm imagining it just looks like like Prickles is just like rubbing suntan lotion like into his body beside the maw.
Ugh.
Yeah, just
Okay. All right.
Just got to do a Home Alone.
Gotta put suntan lotion on the head now too, otherwise it burns really bad. It's terrible.
Yes.
Don't go bald, friends. Or if you go bald, wear a hat. Next up.
Yes. Who's next?
I figured out what I was gonna do.
Yes.
So something that it hasn't really been brought up much because we've just been focused on other things. Exaltair has had a cat that it's part of my aspect Calico Slink.
Yes.
This cat's name is Artemis.
Oh.
Nice.
And this cat was a companion of one of Exaltair's fellow crewmates, but since the attack, the cat has been a specter that would just kind of like appear from time to time. But the aspect is that I can see in dark conditions without issue. I am going to combine that aspect. The boxes disappeared. Oh,
yeah.
there they
Sorry, I'm trying to change something. Okay. Go for it.
are. I'm going to combine that aspect with the Comet Forged Saber, as Artemis is going to just kind of like integrate with the saber, call the saber like kind of their phylactery, so to speak, much in the way that Dill is bound to his fish. And that's what I'm using for my advancement points.
Oh my god. Okay. Combined with Comet Forged Saber. I'm just gonna add that right there. Oh my god. Okay, what does it mean to combine aspects?
So
When you combine two of your existing aspects, you'll give it a new name, give the new aspect a type, trait, gear, or companion, give the new aspect a track.
length equal to the sum of the two combined tracks,
and
maximum 8.
All of the rules combined from both aspects. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is the new name of this called?
This is
The cat claw.
the Comet Saber of Artemis.
Comet Saber of Artemis. Okay.
Or the Saber of Artemis.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Except every time I change stuff, it gets rid of the track, so I'm not really sure what to do there. Yeah, this is one drawback of
Oh,
using
right,
this.
because it's pulling from
yeah, a reference.
a data field somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Okay, let's just keep that in mind, that these are combined. In fact, we could
You
like
can
highlight them.
You can put it in your benefits.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Excellent. So that takes up both of your advancement points. What is your montage action?
My montage action is to finish this gosh darn kite sail.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm at 3 of 4. So the highwood planks were not consumed the last time, right? I took a different approach or something, or I took like a salvage from the ship.
If I remember right, we had like some design work with what's his name? Not Kazaki.
Chikazi?
Chikazi, who is a wave walker. So he was giving you some tips
Right.
on the design, and then you started assembling it. So we're probably down to some finishing touches on this.
Yeah.
And like implementation, like making sure that it actually works. So
Right.
with these projects, I think if you just want to use your montage action to just like do some of that finishing touch stuff, you don't necessarily need to roll, and you'll just get one step forward on this and finish the project. So I guess, what does finishing it up look like?
I think it looks like Saltaire is just kind of finishing the touches, putting the last bits of planks, like he's been like shaving them, shaping them. When you shape wood, sometimes you have to like steam it and then hold it in a position with a clamp for a long time while while the moisture gets back out of it. And he's just kind of like testing the strength, like making it like deploy while below deck, just popping it out and then like retracting it, making sure that it goes in and out just fine. And he goes over to Chikazi and he offers, hey, you want to help me take this for a spin, test it out?
Hell
and
yeah.
Then and I think we do that.
Cool. Who goes first?
In case it goes wrong, Salt is going to offer Chikazi, the professional, to do it for. No, Salt is going to do it first.
Of course. Yeah, I think he loves a good like thrill adventure and risky stuff, but he's like, this is yours. This was your idea. You got to go first, man.
Yeah.
But I get second. I get dibs on second. So yeah,
right.
I think you have like a gentle wind. It's going to be cold as hell because y'all are like have definitely crossed into the interregnum at this point. So there is like crisp, chill air, and it's a little bit windy. So he's like, you definitely want to like put some extra layers on before you go up, but I'll get everything ready for you. Yeah, and it's probably pretty nice having all these straps on to tie you to the harness, or the harness itself holding you tight and keeping a lot of heat in, keeping your clothes from being baggy and loose. But yeah, you get up there. It's a bright sunny day, and I think we get just
how's the wind?
Not bad.
You said it's like gentle breeze.
It's a gentle breeze, but of course the ship is moving. The tentaculary, especially not wanting to step like too long on the same patch of snow and ice, is keeping its legs moving, keeping that metabolism going to stay warm, and keep the ship hot, or at least warm. So it's you definitely like if you don't have goggles or no, you have the mask, right?
Yeah, I've got a mask, but
that's gonna definitely.
I'm not sure if it has lenses built into it.
Oh, so open eye holes. Yeah, there's definitely some wind pressure, like cutting,
like
into
hyper squinting.
Yeah, but in the moments where you catch the wind right and can open your eyes fully, like this is an absolutely beautiful and astounding view. To have this kind of like mid-range view of this landscape, not like seeing it from super far off on your sky islands, and not so close that you can just see all the little flecks of snow and ice everywhere. You just get this beautiful landscape shot.
Right, and to make sure that this works as intended, so like you got to get you got to provide your own like thrust or elevation or something to kind of. This doesn't have like a propellant. It just catches the wind. But the thing is, you like hit a button, it ejects, and it's deployed, and you use it, and then you hit another button, and it retracts. So Salt is going to try to do like he's going to fly around, he's going to enjoy the view, but to test that the retraction works, he's going to try to like elegantly land on the deck of the ship, like just kind of swoop in and then hit the button and then just land.
Nice.
That's the attempt.
Perfect. Chikazi is really impressed. And they like are eager to give it a shot themselves. They're gonna have some natural talent for it, especially like the landing part, but the actual flying, you kind of get the sense that you're better at it. Like your kind of familiarity with the skies far surpasses Chikazi.
Yeah, like I did a trick or something like that, and Chikazi is like, "Oh, I can totally do that," and then he goes to attempt it, and he's like, "Actually, that's dangerous. I'm not comfortable."
Yeah, we sometimes Chikazi uses we pronouns. We're definitely not gonna try that. Not without some more practice. Okay, excellent. So you've got a personal kite sail that will retract, and you can use at any point, I guess, as long as you're wearing it, or deploy it while sailing. Okay, Andy, Shannon, who's next?
I'm ready.
Go for
Right
it.
on.
All right. So, for the advancement, Bill is continuing to read through all these old cookbooks, pages that he's stolen, working with Ollie and things that Ollie has learned. Did anyone of the old Cosmer crew who was like worked in the kitchens in some fashion, did any of them survive, and are they still in our crew?
Let's see. I'll roll a d6
Just
to
for the
see.
sake of the story.
No.
Okay. Then
I rolled a 1.
This is a fully autodidact experience. Dill is putting in the hours trying to learn some better cooking and cocktail making skills. So I'm just going to increase his concoct and cook skills.
Can we zoom in on that for a second? You seem to have no one interested or willing to directly help you learning to cook, which seems to be something that helps everyone on your crew, and yet you're kind of on your own. How does Dill feel anything about that, or think anything about that?
I mean, Dill's connection to people is in a lot of ways built on what food he can, how he can nourish and feed them. So will they eat his food? Will they still eat what he makes? Since because he has flavor engineer, his results are always oddly edible, even if they're weird.
I love that so much.
And he can cook salvage. Like
weird.
Like he makes soup out of things.
Prickles will eat anything. I'm just letting you know right now.
So you're saying they won't help, but if they're eating, they're helping.
Okay. I'm just curious, since you're zooming in on the like the actual process of learning before attempting, and if there's any hard feelings about that. And it sounds like
I wouldn't say there's no, I don't think it's going to be hard feelings as long as people will eat it. I mean, like he's
oddly they will.
Yeah, I'm sure his like he'd like ask people like, will you come and read this and tell me if I'm reading this correctly? And people are already just like busy or just like, we trust you, whatever. You're figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Okay.
So has he
Sorry.
lost trust with the crew? Why, like?
No, I'm just trying to manufacture some drama here. So
We're not dead yet, so you're doing a great job.
Yeah. I can only project onto that just more reason to dislike Ollie, that they're just sick of Ollie's bullshit, and Ollie's hanging out in the galley with me. So they just don't want to be in there because Ollie is like constantly doing his shtick.
it says folded in. What does that mean? Folded in.
There's like six different little stock pots that have been folded into origami cranes, and he's like, it's been folded.
It just says folded in. There's no notes. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say, Dill. Sorry.
And because the flavor engineer, he has handed those origami bits of metal to people, and they've been like drinking soup out of it, be like, it's good. So actually,
the presentation.
Yes. So because he's an autodidact and no one will help him, this also means that his cooking skill is increasingly erratic, because he's just like, well, if they're saying it's working, then it works. So
what do you mean no one will help you? I said I'm reading folded in. I helped.
Yep. So that's his definition of folding. I'll try to think of some other recipe instructions that he has totally has the wrong idea about, but somehow it works anyways. So
okay.
He's Amelia Bedelia-ing it the whole
Whisk
way.
to stiff peaks.
I was gonna say, I think he reads salt to taste as like salt until he can taste it, which is never. So he's just like a huge
Then he just brings it up to Excel terrible, like, taste this.
Yeah. What do you think? Taste this.
Salt to taste.
Yeah, there we go. Salt to taste.
Oh, everything is salt to
Salt to
taste.
I haven't had a
That's
salt
great.
until now. This is perfect.
Yep.
I've always skipped this step. All right, your advancement, please.
Okay. So 1 + 1 to concoct and +1 to cook.
Perfect.
All right. Excellent.
All right.
And then for the montage, looking at so spectral, by the way, the aspect is written as spectral violence in the book. I just noticed it's written as spectral variance.
Really? Oh, interesting.
I think so, unless I also misread that, which is entirely possible. Go to the
I choose violence. I think that's the better.
yeah.
I always choose violence.
Page 119, spectral variance.
Yeah, that is a mistake. Okay, we're gonna leave it this way because if we change the title, it's gonna destroy the track.
Got it. Okay. But his interest in this montage is healing his spectral variance, because I believe it was damaged when Prickles shot him in the head.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So he knows that things have been a little tense between him and Prickles since that happened, and
Oh no! Spectral variance becomes marked when you use it. It was acid etched cook pot that got shot. Your head. You got shot in the fucking head, but with an acid weapon.
Oh, then can I not remove the ticks from spectral variance? I've just lost those.
You just need to tell me how you're doing that.
Well, I was just trying to, and you just told me it was wrong.
No, I was just correcting your.
So wait, so story-wise, if you get back a mark like this, like, how is that framed?
You get to frame it, and it's the same. Okay. Like, whether you're, I guess, choosing healing, repairing is an interesting option because you are mechanical in nature.
The spectral piece is part of the anchored like ghost.
So you tell me.
All right.
There are
because his ghost nature is tied to feeding his crew. He's gonna heal that by interaction with his crew. So I'm still putting this in a scene with Prickles, anyways.
Okay.
As a peace offering to Prickles for their drug-addled struggle, he's gonna take the absinthe that he got from the food generator aboard the Ninetails. and make a cocktail mixed with the or ichor, which is the cow blood from the termites.
Termites, yes. I like it. Okay.
I'm gonna come up with a punny name, but it's gonna take me a while. So in the meantime, he's gonna shake together those things and strain them over ice.
Okay.
And make a little sidecar, a little Sazerac.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Do you want to roll concoct?
Yes.
I love me a Sazerac.
Never had one.
All right, dice. So is this since this would be from his cocktail cookbooks, is this a Tides concoct?
Yes, you've described your way of cooking as using instinct most of the time, but if you are using a recipe, I think that is correct.
I think this is from one of the cocktail books. The Sazerac is too pre-verdant for him not to have just come across that word on his own. So
I think it's interesting to kind of get that juxtaposition of like seeing you as kind of mad scientisting most meals, but here you're like slowing way down.
Yes. Do I get 3 dice or 4? Because I don't know if Flavor Engineer gives me one, since I am using salvage to make this.
No.
Okay.
Never.
Wait, so
Andy,
hold
never.
on. You're using which salvage? The
I guess the absinthe from the Nine Tails. I guess that's a specimen. I don't know.
Oh, I
if
see.
It was
you
generated by a machine.
Yeah.
Is it salvage or specimen?
It is a specimen. Okay. Yeah. Take +1. Because you're also using the tar ichor. So you're using 2 specimens.
Right.
But it is there's risk of losing both.
All right. So
Okay.
4 dice.
Yes, that's right.
6, 2, 2, 3.
6, 2,
Six and a
2,
twist.
3. Yeah, a twist on a recovery roll is you do not consume the resource. So,
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna let you pick which one you keep though, since there were 2 ingredients here.
I'll get rid of the Tor and save the absinthe for another time.
Okay. That is
Wise choice.
That is an extremely wise choice considering where you're headed and how they venerate anything bull related.
Yep.
All right. So he's mixed up the not quite Sazerac and brings it to Prickles and offers him a toast. Sorry about confusing you for a kidnapper.
Where's Prickles?
And where is Prickles? Prickles is down in the engine room, covering himself in what I, by the way, is one of the best puns I've ever fucking come up with.
Well, that was amazing.
In Ayahuasca, which is the wolf hallucinogen.
Jesus.
I love it. It's the best.
So while he's on the ground recovering from, now that he can see things more clearly, I guess your vision materializes and there's a cocktail like hovering in front of your face, and I'm just like, here you go, buddy.
I'll take it. What does it smell like, Andy?
Halfway between a tannery and like a freshly cut fennel bulb.
Ooh,
It's brutal. It blows your hair back before you've even taken a sip.
I bring it towards my mouth, and the moss just parts away from my face because I have a moss beard covering my mouth.
That's right.
I'm like, is this safe?
Oh, it's from a recipe from the old world, and they maintain its virtuous properties. It's meant to be delightful. From a place on an old planet called New Orleans.
And this is an apology for me shooting you in the face.
This is an apology and making amends for scaring you in the bridge and confusing you for a vicious kidnapper. And fresh start, my friend, with a fresh drink.
To vicious
Cheers.
endeavors.
The vicious endeavors.
I heard.
And then I will down the drink.
Oh my gosh.
By the way,
What
does
happens now?
does Dill consume anything? Does he just like pour it on himself?
Like an airplane when he's got a drinking problem.
He's got a drinking problem. I guess we're trying to say that this is healing the spectral variant, so the ghost part of him can drink it. The fumes make it through.
Ooh, I love it.
They get absorbed by the anemia fish in his chest. That's how he.
I was gonna say, is there some sort of like container within you that you would put it in and let it just kind of naturally be either absorbed or evaporated?
So lucky iron fish, as they get used, and this is in the real world, they become porous because like iron is leached out of them into foods that they're cooked in. So I would say that this far along in Dill's existence, it started to form some holes, and it absorbs it through those.
Fantastic.
I think of anything that Dill Striganon can consume, the Dill Striganon, the ghost golem, it should be spirits.
Oh,
yeah.
And what was your highest roll?
6 and a twist.
Yeah, mark 2 track or 2 rating. 2 marks of your track. Excellent.
Cheers, Prickles.
Cheers.
What
happens to me?
Yeah, what does it? He's got his poor system. Is his liver even existing anymore?
How
Do I
quenchy
even have a liver?
I mean, you're a plant, so no. I think this is so strange. You're consuming so many bizarre things in such a short period of time. I'm gonna leave it to you. I think that because you're a plant, like absorbing things like changes your your like pH levels and chemical reactions within your body either are accelerated or changed or hindered. So like any change, I think we could see it, or maybe smell it.
He gets flush.
Yeah.
He goes red
wow.
as it's changing the pH.
Brian, for the sake of story, I will just tell you the effect that it's doing for Dill is healing his relationship with his spiritual self. So I don't know if what that effect would have on you.
Let's look at Prickles here.
I think that might be part of ongoing towards Prickles healing his mire. Outsiders are difficult to trust.
Ooh.
I have something planned for Exaltair. I have something planned for Amber as we reach the hearth. So I would like to try to work on clearing that through roleplay. And I think this is the first aspect, or the first part of it.
The thing about clearing mire is it requires a whisper to do so.
Yes.
Is anyone willing to give up a whisper?
I don't want to do this yet. I have more stuff to do to,
I see. Okay.
To get it. Maybe I'll try to obtain a whisper and then use it along with this action as we go.
Was I supposed to start with a whisper, by the way? Because I never have had one.
And during character creation, you had the option between salvage specimens, whispers, and charts.
Okay. Then
we chose what we wanted.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Can you, Prickles, roll me 1d6?
Certainly. Oh my gosh, Nick. There it is. Right there.
What was it? A 6?
It's a 6.
Okay.
Nice.
Change your stung injury to lightly swollen from very swollen.
Got
it. And then change cut to some physical actions to cut to a few physical actions.
Oh, this helped your circulation.
It did.
This is a plot point I had planned if y'all had chosen to go not to the coldest fucking place on the planet, that you were not only stung but injected with eggs that were going to become a problem. But I think this drink has killed most of them.
Perfect.
Cheers.
You
Cheers.
saved him.
Merry
Cheers.
Christmas. All right, Amber,
Okay.
tell me what's up.
Amber is going. I chose to gain an aspect, and it is the fragmented limb.
Oh shit.
So it is. So you guys know I have a hook hand. So this is her hand that that was a part of her body before, and it's still fresh. It's still good. It's just no longer attached to her. So the fragmented limb is cracked and floating just free of your body. When you take this gear, decide whether it deals blunt, keen, or spike damage, and you can change this damage type by using a task. And I replaced that with my my pre-V pet, my little spider puppy, who I still have, but is like, I put that under benefits because there's no more.
I see that.
Okay.
Ariana Grande.
That's the best name ever. Yes, Ariana. So yeah, that was my action, and then I guess in order to obtain that, would that so my montage would be would that be like a healing thing, like where I'm trying to reconnect with this fragmented limb, or what would you think? What do you guys think?
Well, is this your montage or is this your
This is advancement.
advancement?
Advancement, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to. The montage can be something different.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then right on. So that's my advancement. Then my montage is going to be reassembling the chitinous shards from the tarmite that we collected whenever we were going into the whirlpool. And I want to make it into like a shield.
So that is going to require a project.
Okay.
Not only is the chitin of the tarmite shattered into these small shards, but even if it were one piece, creating this item would be a project in and of itself. So I think maybe you could use this to repair the chitin from the tarmite and make it into one solid piece, and then we could make the shield.
Right on.
So basically you're removing this negative tag of the shards mechanically, which I don't think requires a roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was going to require heavy use of resin, of which I have control over.
Absolutely. So go ahead and remove the word shards from your specimen.
I was going to say chitinous membrane.
Sure. Yeah, that works. Okay. You'll also, Amber, during the rest of this trek, be asked if does on the data pad, Iota reaches out to you and asks, so does the name Takashi Terraforming Concern mean anything to you?
No, not beyond. No, nothing.
Okay.
I think at this point I might, in an effort to connect with Iota in a way to get Iota to reveal more things to me about my past, reveal things that have come to me in flashes of memories that I've had, but that aren't necessarily connected to anything.
Yeah. You worked for and she'll use the word corporation. Yeah, and you have you have chthonic.
Yes.
So you know what a corporation is. You have like a vague understanding. that word is not one you've heard since Reawakening, but
Right.
there are some kind of higher level factions in this world that are like conglomerations, I guess, of a bunch of small entities, a bunch of merchants basically coming together to form a big organization. So you kind of have an analogy for this, but like this, she explains like this entire planet was owned by a group called the Takashi Terraforming Concern, and they were their business focused on developing terraforming technology, change planets composition of plant and animal life, the topology and geography. Basically they were working on something that could fix or change an entire planet's makeup, make it more habitable, more stable. They were using some research from from another planet really far away called the Wilt, which is gonna perk Brian's ears. The Wilt?
Oh, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
I know exactly what that is, Nick.
You were in charge of security of
the
capital city. And you've had a run-in with Anima before. Anima is a divine, and there's that word again, that was sent by humanity's enemies to seize their technology and research. And the verdancy was the result of that battle.
Wow.
And
Like
suddenly some of your flashes of ordering pilots to their stations and the feeling of denying an enemy technology kind of are starting to slot into place.
Okay.
A little bit.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Volpa and I spent a lot of time studying that time in history, and you're kind of an artifact of that.
I'm an artifact. Awesome.
Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Just
It's okay. I know I'm unusual. It's a lot to take in. I am trying to hold on to the fact that apparently I was defending people, hopefully defending.
You were defending this entire planet. Anima at the time could control entire fleets of vehicles, drones, tanks, fighter jets.
I wonder,
and
I think,
and as they would be destroyed, they could just reuse their components, rebuild them ad hoc during combat. It made them extremely difficult to deal with. And their pilot was no joke either.
this is like a lot for her to sit with. I think like one of the biggest struggles for her in not knowing who she was, on the one hand, was that she kind of viewed it as like, hey, it's a clean slate. I don't know who I was. It sucks. I want to find who I was before. I hope I was a good person.
Look, if it makes a difference, as far as humanity is concerned, you are a hero in the textbooks.
Yeah. Textbooks are always written by the victor. The story is always written by the victor. So
Well,
I'm going to choose to believe what it is that you're telling me, because I have no choice but to. But I think that Amber may have some negative connotations with the word corporation, and the fact that they were using this, like, the fact that the corporation that she worked for was so powerful that they could change like an entire planet's makeup and affect the local population, the local flora and fauna. I think maybe she has some negative connotations where that's concerned, but she hopes that it was that they had altruistic intentions. So she's gonna. I think she just needs to like sit with that information and just kind of like try to internalize it. I think she's really fucked up right now.
Look, the Takashi wanted to develop a tool to stabilize ecosystems, you know, a missile that could be fired at a planet and within years stabilize it or terraform it into something that could sustain human life, give people a place to live, jobs, a home that they could breathe from. It was truly promising technology.
Kind of amazing that something like that ever existed in this world, in this universe, considering that we're basically in the Dark Ages now.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, And then she just kind of like awkwardly stops talking, like she's realized something and doesn't want to say anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me know if you want to talk some more.
Okay. I need to sit with this, but I'm going to have more questions.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Be in touch soon. It looks like you're coming up on Wither, the port. We'll talk soon. Good luck.
I'll let you know if we find her.
Thanks. Over and out. Okay. So, with that, we're going to take a brief break and then we'll be right back. We are back. I said again as I unmuted our microphones.
Yay!
So, you all hear the bell for the call of port along the Taco Tuesday. Up ahead, as you all make your way to the deck or look out a window that faces forward, you see the Tarobal Tower, a truly immense tower that is still rooted in the under eaves. You see a little bit of the tower peeking up, maybe a couple stories tall, but otherwise, what really catches your eye is the port itself, Wither, which are a number of rough, snow-choked platforms strung up around the canopy level flanks of the tower. I guess all the flanks of the tower. that are connected to the tower by a set of humongous, massive brass chains that are connected to the outer edge of the tower and run down to all of these platforms. And that's how you can kind of make them out among the very light flurry of snow. And you can kind of see on the rolling waves are these massive platforms that are the port itself that you would pull up next to and tie off against. Or in your case, crawl up on, because the Taco Tuesday can do that. Around the tower, the port has a lot of pinwolf furs, rabbit furs, bear furs, just furs of all kinds, just kind of like the way you had seen strings of flags at Ladle's Rest. There are just tons and tons of furs being hung and act as flags. They are dyed in different colors with different like dots and symbols on them that are sometimes hard to see. Or you could imagine in a thicker storm could be extremely difficult to see. And you kind of get the sense as you're coming in, especially those of you that are familiar with signaling and are able to read the flags, that these flags are largely out of date and more gestural. They are not actively updating the flags to indicate like what sides of or what parts of the port are full, where to dock. It's just kind of like a here we are, come figure it out for yourself situation.
It's an airport with no air traffic control.
Yeah, because it's such a hard and difficult area of the world that resources are more limited. I.e. furs, like changing out those furs would be really, really rough. And who wants to sit out in the cold and run a bunch of furs out? And even if like they did update their communication for quote unquote air traffic controlling, like there's not even any guarantee that people would be able to see them with how much snow is getting like kicked up off of the you know, the tree branches off of the sea by the wind. Not only that, but many of these are covered in snow and ice and extremely difficult to read anyway. So as you draw close to the port, there are lots of people just kind of milling about. Maybe not a lot, but there are people milling about in heavy, thick furs. And then you see a number of people that you would identify as members of the Twin Horns. And if you look at the top sheet tab of our document here, I've listed some images that we're going to be using referentially here. And on the left are the Twin Horns. Twin Horns, as you have heard or maybe seen, if you've ever visited down here or seen a Twin Horn around, I think there is actually a character, an NPC that is a former Twin Horn. Let's see if any of you took them as a contact. Raven is a Twin Horn Ridgeback shaman, and then there was a mercenary Twin Horn that had been excommunicated. I don't remember which NPC that was, but I don't think anyone took them. Anyway, but they are covered in furs. And they have these huge bowl, like ornate bowl masks with humongous horns sticking out of them that are very, very ornamental, and they have a lot of reverence for their masks. They also hold lots of these like multi-arrow crossbows. You also see a few lumbering around the streets, and you can see these very far back among multiple streets. But there are these giant, extremely tall machinations called stagger saints that you have likely heard of as well. And that's what this is here on the right image. This is a stagger saint. It is a kind of construct made of a mixture of modern technology and also some pre-verdant technology. These are essentially mechanical robots, automatons, that are meant to look like giant tall bulls with these extremely long legs that are anywhere between like 12 to 25 feet long. And they're just kind of also milling about. But these kind of huge machines that are equipped with what would they have? Sometimes they have weapons attached to them, but otherwise just their like physical presence and their ability to just like kick things is enough to cause some damage. But these are tools of the twin horns that you would recognize, and they have a small handful of them walking around this particular port and some of the nearby ports. And as your ship pulls up and is docked, and there are some dock hands that come up to greet the ship, and the captain is like ordering them about. Basically, she's going to start like engaging with them in some trade and any repairs that the ship needs. I think it needs some armor repairs here. Yeah, she's basically going to kind of take charge of managing some trade. So we might see some of the salvage rations, specimens, etc. disappear, and others reappear as she negotiates. But there are also a couple twin horns that appear to identify themselves, and their names are I have their names right here. Ankle is a Celicrae twin horn enforcer, and Saphir, Safir, is an ardent or human twin horn. And they just say, welcome. I see by the name on your ship, the Taco Tuesday, is it? What's your business here? And they're just kind of loosely holding their crossbows at their waists, not like pointed down. They are holding them, but non-threateningly. And it would probably fall on you, Prickles, as second executive officer of the vessel.
Okay.
You're the navigator.
I see.
Since the captain is preoccupied, they're going to leave it to you.
Yes. We're here for research purposes. Information on Leviathans.
Leviathans? Don't see many of those in these parts.
Consider yourself lucky.
Oh? Having some Leviathan problems wherever you're coming from?
Very much so.
And where is that?
I believe we come from as Brian, not Prickles.
Ladle's Rest,
Blanks.
maybe?
Ladle's, yes. Ladle's Rest.
Ah.
Sorry,
yes.
friends. Usually the captain handles these matters.
Oh, no
Before
worries.
my head in the chart.
I see. Well, yes, we have heard that there's been some strange happenings up there. Last sailor we saw from back there was what, a month ago? Isn't that right, Ankle? Yes, it is. A month ago. Strange happenings.
You recall what that person looked like?
Oh, they'll just describe some wild sailor. Maybe Ketra.
Got it.
strange rumors, and they'll kind of like ramble through a couple of the rumors, both false and true, that you've heard. Well, as long as what you have to offer and trade is looking good, which it looks like our dock hands are handling, you're welcome to see what the city has to offer. Where Exaltair and Dill and Amber, where are you on the deck as well? Or are you doing something else?
Yeah, I would be on the deck.
I think, yeah, I'm getting ready to disembark.
Bill, by the way, I don't know if we've been doing this. I realized the notes in the Taco Tuesday say and use a task while at sea to gain fresh engine honey once per journey.
Yes.
Is that just sort of like given? Do we need to like actively do that? Is that just we have some jars of honey?
Do we need to list it under our specimens
Did
if we
you
take
all
any?
harvest that at the beginning of this journey and then use it to goose the engines, so to speak? Okay.
Now we goose the engines with different stuff.
Okay, then go
I
ahead
goosed
and
the engine the last time with one of the brews that Dill made. That was
honey.
it was made with the vomit from the thing.
I've added engine honey to a ship specimen.
Don't we also have to harvest the fruit? Is it a different fruit this time?
Wait, is that different than the?
Yeah,
the fruiting tree.
we have a tree.
That one says automatic.
Fresh
Or when you use it, it has to
honey.
tap fruiting tree. So yeah, I guess that's my question is the game uses this phrase "use a task," and I didn't know
I
if
think
like we
the
need
fruiting tree you all did get because it was like Krebnanas or something.
Yeah.
I think
Sure.
you all did harvest that already. So
Okay.
Are the tasks the montage actions that we need to
Yes.
be using to collect these things?
yeah, but it's fine. There's lots of other red shirts that can be doing that. That's fine. Okay. Can I get a check from everybody? This would be either a grace or instinct or veils sense roll.
4 dice from me.
And there will be a cut of 1.
The cut is related to
factors beyond your understanding.
understood. I rolled a 5.
For me to know, you to not know.
That's right. A 5 and a 1 from
Oh,
Dill.
fuck.
I've got
So that's at a one.
Grace.
Yeah, that's a 1.
So that's a 1.
Great.
Prickles?
I have rolled a 5, a 2, and a pair of 1s. So with a cut of 1, that is a 2 with a pair of 1s and a twist.
Okay.
I rolled a 4. I only have grace.
Oh, and
I apologize.
Yeah, can you cut one dice or
Grace.
no?
And what do we?
Grace sense.
Grace,
Oh, grace.
instinct, or veils and sense.
Heck yes.
Again,
Heck yeah.
I only have one of those.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that Dill is still hungover from his spectral absinthe, so he's just like not really aware of anything.
So I cut a 6, but I also keep a 6.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Okay. Hang on 1 second. I need to check one other thing.
Salt is very aware of his surroundings.
Salt has scary eyes. He's like
Brian, roll one more die.
blocking every detail, Sherlock Holmes style.
On this roll,
Yes, on this roll one more
and
die.
that could affect a lot of things. So I had my 5 cut, and I rolled a second 5. So I technically have 1 5, a 2, and 2 1s. So after the cut.
Okay. So I'm not sure what let me describe the success element here, and that was a 6 from Salt. And then So Salt is going to notice this for now, and then we can deal with your twist. Salt, you notice what can your mask see? What benefits do you get from that?
The mask is just like an aspect of being a Cosmer. Like there is, well, I say aspect, but I don't mean mechanical aspect.
Okay. The single eye set in this mantle.
Oh, the mantle. Yeah.
Can see through usually opaque surfaces, such as a wall or a cloud bank, with perfect clarity for a short time. You're getting a weird vibe from these guys. Would you like to use the Cyclopean mantle?
Yes.
Okay.
I marked it.
Okay. So you look through these guys' mask, and they have kind of disgusting looking faces, like in the sense that they don't really maintain hygiene of their faces. They're probably because they're wearing these masks so much, which is something that you're familiar with. How's your face hygiene?
Salt like regularly washes his face in private when he removes his mask. Yeah.
Do you let your face air out? or do you have blisters?
He'll dry it. Yeah.
Do you have blisters and shit like these guys do from just wearing a mask 24/7? Okay. Well, they do.
Our masks are better than their masks. Our masks are not primitive masks.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but you notice these guys, like, since you can see the whites of their fucking eyes and the darks of their pupils, they are taking a very keen interest in Dill and in Ollie Ollie Oxenfree. And by keen interest, they're just kind of like looking at them a lot. Like almost their entire visual attention is directed to them.
Okay. Can I do anything to try to gain a vibe as to like in what way? Like, is it fear? Is it intent? Is it like greed or desire of some sort?
Yes. With a 6 you can. They go wide-eyed, like eager. Excitement.
Okay.
Like what?
Hunger?
No.
Oh, thank God, they're not gonna eat Dill.
But
yeah,
it is a keen interest. Like they see an opportunity here. Well, let me look at your sheet really quick. Can you roll me instinct or veils? I guess it doesn't matter either one. And hunt, please.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. That is 3.
That is 3.
Any cut?
Yes, 1 cut.
The result is a 4.
Because something is hunting you, you're sure of it. Yeah. These guys are acting like they have discovered prey. Very, very subtly.
Perfect timing on the music.
Uh-huh.
Music. I don't hear any.
Why don't I roll 20?
It's just a very faint track. Don't worry too much about it.
The wind whistled just as you said that, Nick. It was like perfect.
Yeah. Okay, now, a twist for Brian. Any, I guess, pitches for a
What
twist?
do I smell, Nick?
Oh yes, here is what you smell. Well, yeah, here's the twist. Here's what you smell. Okay, yeah, here's the twist. You smell flaking oil. Like the smell of dried up oil. As you hear a ka-chunk, 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 and there's a stagger saint that kind of casually walks up and then parks it near your ship. This one needs some oiling. Call a hearth engineer. We gotta. That is driving me up the fucking wall. Yeah. I'll put in a request. Anyway, enjoy the city.
Salt is going to like approach Prickles.
Mm-hmm.
And if Amber is next to Prickles, he'll kind of like, he's going to be like whispering into either of your ears. There seems to be some desire or opportunity they see in Dill and Ali Ali Oxenfree. Probably due to their like nature. So we may need to protect them.
Okay.
Just stay frosty. I don't like the way they were looking at them.
These two twin horns, again, their names are Ankle and Saphir. They're walking past the deckhands that are offloading some stuff from the ship, like off to the side, like where the crane is and where the captain is. And they like start barking orders at the deckhands, or dockhands, and say the offering is tonight. Double time it, or none of this will be available to you or your people. And they'll kick one of them. I said double time. And the Stagger Saint is just kind of walking extremely slowly behind them because of its enormous gait. And then they just like
something's wrong.
Keep walking, or they keep walking into the port or around the port.
This is a bad place.
I'm
Perhaps we should
keen to learn more
here.
about this. I'm just keen to learn more about this offering, but I don't necessarily want to find out by asking. I feel like we might be misled if we just ask.
A couple of the dock hands like help the one that was kicked up, and they start hustling really fast, moving stuff. They have little like hand trucks that they're using that have just awful shopping cart wheels that appear to get stuck on nothing.
No.
And they are like loading stuff up and hauling it away.
Bill goes over to help see if he can fix the wheels of their little cart.
They say, "Move! We gotta go. We're trying to work here.
I'm just trying to make your day easier, my friend.
Please, get out of the way." They insist.
All right, could have been a simple fix.
And they'll hustle off.
Salt will go over to Dill and say, be careful. Those there might be it seems as though those guards were looking to either take advantage of you or something. That I didn't like the way they were looking at you, so just keep your guard up in this place.
Thank you. I will be aware. I'm happy to be taken advantage of. I'm here to help.
I think Amber's gonna hear that and be like, and like shake her head, and she's gonna like scoop her arm through like one of his arms and like pat his hand and be like, all right, and then like walk off.
Take advantage of my man Dill here? Why would they want to do that? Nicest guy I've ever met, says Ollie.
I hate Ollie.
I feel like this is like Ollie steps into the conversation when Salt was like trying to just talk to Dill, And so I was intending like, I'll leave you to tell Ollie, and then now Ollie is just like chiming in, and Salt is like walks away.
Everyone's like, get fucked, Ollie. Why don't you take a walk down a dark alley? God.
Salt just does not want to interact with Ollie.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Ollie, hey Ollie, how's that map coming? Is it installed on the ship yet?
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. It says I don't really know what the word means, but let me try and sound it out again. Dice connected. Dice connected.
Did you plug it in, Ollie?
Oh yeah, it's all plugged in.
Hmm.
Did he plug in cables to the correct ports, or did he just like put cables on it and be like plugged, like just shove them anywhere they could fit?
I even tried. Here, look. I don't really know what dice connected is, but I plugged it in exactly how I think it was plugged in before. I tried a couple other variations, and then I tried plugging myself into it and it into me, and I just couldn't get it to work. Sorry.
Did you connect the power cells to it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, sometimes you don't connect things to the power.
Yeah, it didn't turn on until the power cells were connected. I figured that one out, but I couldn't figure out how to get the map up. Sorry.
Well,
Maybe
Ollie,
because I'm not a map guy. You know, maybe it knows map guys.
Ollie, there's a lot of research material in the library. I suggest you go there because we need that map up and running as soon as possible.
What about our data pad? Is that
is working just fine.
I think Amber keeps that like on her person, like at all times now. I'm just. How big is it? It's just like an iPad.
It's a handheld data pad, like an iPad, basically.
Yeah, it's with her like at all times now. I think because it's like her only connection to get to.
Amber is that person that's walking around with an iPad, like
100%.
taking pictures of things.
Yep. I think she's an old lady.
It's got like Pokemon Go season 5026.
Awesome. Yes. But yeah, I don't think she like takes it out and brandishes it around or anything, but she definitely has the.
Yeah, this would not be the place to do that.
Yeah. Especially like just seeing what she's seen so far in Ford, she just kind of keeps it like tucked within her gear.
Yeah.
Like, on her person.
Fantastic. So you see some signs. This Wither has a junction called Lick Velos, and it also has a combination chop station and shadow spring called the Red Altar.
Mm.
And this
combination chop station and shadow spring.
That's right.
So do they have like a swim up bar? Like a swim up hibachi or something like that?
Yes. I wouldn't
That
say
sounds amazing.
I wouldn't say swim up. I would say like you've got your
There's just a broth end of the pool.
There's like a bunch of tubs. There's just a bunch of tubs and a hibachi station like right in the middle, and there are quote knife wielding priests ready to render your kills and baths to enjoy while you wait. So, and yeah, you'll just be sitting in the bath and just like raise your hand and they'll like flick a piece of cooked meat at you.
And you have the option to order raw meat and then cook it yourself. Just
Don't get the
In the soup. Yeah.
Soupy, baby. Or
that sounds terrible.
parboil it.
Oh.
What was the first
I love
thing
this.
Before the swim of hibachi?
The junction, which is kind of like the hotel bar job board place.
Okay.
It's called Lick Velos.
The mutual hot pot. They hot pot you, you hot pot your food.
Perfect. Yes, it should be called hot pot.
The mutual hot pot.
Mutual hot pot. And there's a whole city to explore. Like this tower is incredibly large. It's probably about the size in like floor plan of the Ladle's Rest, like a skyscraper. But this place looks not a lot like it is by far different architecture and design, and it does look like it was kind of crudely made around the time, like within the Verdancy, the age of Verdancy. Yeah, as you kind of wander into like beyond the port into the tower itself, there are still lots of people, many huddled around pipes that appear to be radiating heat. People are cooking food, little tiny amounts of food that you notice on these heating pipes that look, all the heating pipes you see around the city appear to just be like covered in sort of a gestalt of food that has been placed on it over many, many years. Occasionally you'll see someone like taking out a really thick metal brush to scrape it all off. There are mostly ardent here. There are the occasional Celicrae. I wouldn't say there's really any Ketra or Ectus here. There's probably some Mothrin whose wings are like wrapped around them like cloaks and then have furs on top of their wings, which is very unusual. Most Mothrin like to keep their wings free. That is not the case here.
My God, this is a terrible place.
You also see exactly 0 Ironbound.
When Amber was patting Dill's arm to be like, honey, don't, would you have explained that being taken advantage of here is a bad thing and maybe you want to be discreet about
yes, absolutely.
So before we left the ship, we flashback and say that Dill and Ollie both took some of the pelts and other things and covered themselves to look more like Celicrae or maybe some other just like bound for winter race.
Oh, well, Prickles had asked me to do research in the library. Are you saying you need me to come with you?
Oh. No. You stay, Ollie. I just didn't know if you were coming with us. Ollie, you stay and hang out.
Okay.
But then Dill, I think, is
do you know how to read?
Disguise.
Oh my God.
Ollie, I got some news for you. You know how to read. You taught yourself.
I did.
And,
yes, okay, cool.
Yeah.
If you want to know more, there's books on how to read. Just read them.
Oh, okay. I'll ask the captain for some tips. Thanks.
If you don't know how to read the letters, you can start with Braille.
Oh my gosh.
I will offer up my.
That
I can
Ollie
see,
knows
but I
how to
can't
read and
feel.
doesn't know what reading is. Like,
I will offer up my torn canvas salvage to Dill if he wants to use it like a Holocaust cloak. A Holocaust
what?
cloak. A Holocaust cloak. The Princess Bride? Oh, come on now.
I do not recall this.
I'm afraid to.
what?
I'm
I've
afraid
seen
to
that movie,
Google
so-
this.
Just make sure you
like-
include Princess Bride first. Maybe.
Please do. It's like the
Okay,
big
yes.
cloak that Andre the Giant puts over top of it.
Okay,
So he's like a-
Okay, I did Google Holocaust cloak, and the first thing that came up was a Reddit post. Ask science fiction, what is a Holocaust cloak? And this is like brackets the Princess Bride. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm feeling a little more comfortable.
We all were like, excuse me?
The Dread Pirate Roberts figured out that if you run a razor a line perpendicularly to the direction you're running it along the outside of the cloak, you can fray the fibers just enough that the cloak gets a little bit of a fuzzy aura. This fuzziness, unlike the rest of the cloak, is highly flammable, sort of like how flour is highly combustible, only if widely dispersed.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
because of the specific fabric it's made of, the small loose ends will burn for longer than you'd expect. It's a neat party trick, but you have to be very careful when wearing it while lit. Okay, I still don't understand the reference.
It's a ginormous ass cloak that he can hide underneath.
Holocaust meaning entire from the word or the root hollow, and caustic being burning. It is a cloak that completely engulfs itself in flame. That is the reference. Okay.
Except this one won't be on fire.
There's got to be a better word for that.
Why don't we just
giant sail and wrap it around you like a cloak?
Perfect.
There we go.
Okay, I might clip that bit.
You can feel free to clip that out. That was a movie reference and not intended to spur dissent, disorder, and anguish among the cast.
I watched
the crowd.
Let's move on.
Okay.
I want to let's just say that in this moment, Prickle said something that was like weirdly offensive to everybody for like a split second. We're all like, huh?
Sorry, I dissociated for a second. What?
Yeah. All right. So, do I need a roll for Dill's disguise? Like, how detectable is he as an Ironbound? Am I just good to wander the city?
Yeah. If you're gonna try and like completely like erase your presence as an Ironbound, yes, I will need veils.
Instinct? Instinct or tides? Tides is exploration. I mean, this is, how he explores.
Can he use his bonus as a flavor engineer?
You can keep trying. You can keep trying to sell me on that one if you want.
Only if you cook your cloak as part of the stew.
Yeah.
I would say tides because he's like initially he had no instinct that he was even being noticed. So this is purely from like Amber's injunction to tell him to like, hey, you don't want to be noticed here.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. This is most certainly veils. Like this is disguise, it's shadows, it's about secrecy.
Does Prickles have that edge? He's putting the cloak on me. No, he doesn't.
Oh, goodness, no.
Who has it? Does anybody have veils?
If anyone, it's
I don't think any of us do.
No.
None of them.
No, I don't.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm looking at your sheet.
Wait.
Even funnier.
Hold on.
You got veils? I'm staring at it.
I do.
Can we combine our efforts and try to disguise Dill?
Absolutely.
On this roll?
We can have Tim Gunn's fashion hour.
Awesome.
Make it work.
All right. So what's my role here to make it work?
I think this is a veils outwit.
All right.
I've got 2 in outwit.
This living workshop doesn't work here.
Living workshop can help. This is creating temporary gear.
All right.
And I'm providing the salvage, which can be consumed if you wish.
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
I think we consumed the salvage, and now we have a disguise cloak.
Okay, I think there are quite literally too many cooks in the kitchen, so we're gonna add a cut of 1.
Okay.
Fair.
Fuck.
Whoa.
Hey guys, twist.
What is the twist?
The twist
I
is
just
we
want to
think
say
it's the
that
best disguise ever, and we all think there's no way anybody's going to see through it.
So he thinks he's like perfect. Everyone is like, oh, perfect. No one can tell. And like, because they're used to him, they think he's concealed. And like, they forgot to cover the entire backside of him, in which you can still absolutely see that.
Right.
He's
It's just the front cloak.
Yeah.
Salt had like an epiphany moment where Salt was like trying to find a good mask for Dill, because I mean that's it. In order to be disguised, you gotta have a good mask. I mean, your face tells you who you are, right? So Salt is like looking around trying to find something to serve as a mask, and then he's like, oh wait, Dill's a golem. He's made of stuff. His face can be a mask. Like he can just rearrange his face a little bit. So it's like, hey, it's perfect.
Hey Andy, how about I rearrange your face? How's that for a disguise?
Damn. I'm just
Nick-
imagining that
okay.
like we
Nick,
think that
I'm gonna
this guy's
consume my
amazing,
salvage here
Yes, please.
after that roll.
Okay.
but when he walks,
Sorry,
he still
Brian.
sounds like a
Oh, no, it's all
like a
good.
drawer of silverware. It's just like,
Oh yeah, that too. He
Can
just
we-
it's so clearly obvious. Like it's
Can-
just painfully obvious.
I want to pitch. I want to pitch what this one means.
oh my god.
And I, if we can all get on board with it, that's how it's gonna be. You all come to the conclusion that it would be the best outcome to dress up Dill like a twin horn.
Ooh,
Who the
for it.
second that he
terrible
makes
idea that we instantly agree to.
As
Yeah.
soon as Salt is like, "Oh yeah, we can make your head look like a mask," and then you're like,
Yeah.
"Here's a horn. Here's a horn."
Yeah, I got.
There,
I'll
it's a
use my
mask.
termite horns to help with this.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh shit! Yes.
This is like now a culturally insensitive, obvious.
Yes.
That's the
ass.
twist.
Okay.
We
That's
just
the
turned,
twist.
Oh my
we just
God.
turned this cultural insensitivity around. Hell yeah. Perfect.
So
Oh my God.
Dill's not only a target, but now he's a pariah as well.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Oh my god.
And I guess because it's a 1 and it was a Snake Eyes, he also just has no fucking clue, and he's just like, "Let's go into town.
Oh god.
I'm a twin horn. Nice to meet you."
Okay, so to recap, your goal in coming to this place was to seek out the Hearth, who you know is a faction of, like, this is gonna sound really strange, neo-preverdancy engineers?
Yes.
Like descendants of pre-V engineers, but who aren't pre-V engineers.
New previous.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like, but the mission has changed at this point. I think that like the more important thing is to find what's her face, yeah, like Volpa. We found
Yeah.
an actual spaceship, and like they have knowledge of the Leviathan,
Sure.
and we
Okay.
think that she might be here.
Okay. What is the approach to trying to locate Volpa going to look like? And I
Walking around. Have you seen this person? Or
shows data pad with glowing photo.
Yeah, no,
No, we know
not the
she-
data
look.
pad, but
We know she's got banging curves. I think we just need to like be on the lookout for like luscious booties. Is
Yo.
can
my-
any of us sketch?
I know someone who
I don't
might be able to
think so.
sketch.
Oh my.
No, seriously, Prickles does maps.
Yeah, I'm a cartographer.
Oh hell yeah. Sketch that booty.
Meticulous recording, focused
drawing
investigation.
people, are we beyond stick figures?
I mean, if I
It's just a
draw myself
stick
as a stick figure, I kind of look like a cactus, so it kind of works.
I mean, here's the thing. I think like Amber would probably suggest like, well, if you just put like the chart or the paper over the tablet, you can just like use the glow and see the image kind of through the paper and do a.
Is our
Right.
paper that
Prickles.
advanced that
Oh, no.
we can make it that thin?
Wow.
No, probably
Prickles
not.
will take some of the flowers from the side of one of his arms and then kind of crumble them up into a dust and sprinkle it over top of one of the papers on top of the data pad. And then he'll pull a couple of his own spines out, kind of like mold them in together, and just maybe take a little tiny bit of the aloe vera that he's got growing on him now and sprinkle it in to give it a little bit of a gold mold and a grip. And I'll just start trying to like make a rubbing of the general area. And then after I've finished rubbing the general description, then I'll try to use maybe a few different colored flowers to try to etch like a little bit of details and try to get a rough sketch of what this person looks like.
Okay, you have a rough sketch of Volpa and Amber's passionate description to go with.
Ooh, I have one more thing to do before we leave the ship. Then
Yes.
I want to use. our snapograph.
Oh shit!
And I'm
going to
take a picture of the sketch, and then would it be better just use the snapograph, take a picture of the data pad, or do we take a picture of the sketch?
I'm realizing that's way better.
Okay, snapograph, picture of the data pad, and suddenly we have multiple different copies of this. Enough for everybody who we send out to look.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Oh,
Right,
so
there we
we're
go.
splitting the party, it sounds like.
Maybe. I mean, after rolling that double one, I have a feeling like Andy's going off on his own somewhere.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, Amber and I have
let Dill go off on his own.
That's fine, because I believe Amber and I have a tattoo.
Yeah.
To go ahead and get taken care of at some
Oh,
point. So
yes. Hell yeah.
So Salt and Dill are together, Amber and Prickles are together, and we're gonna
Yeah.
find a tattoo parlor, buddy.
Yeah, you find a tattoo parlor called the Blackhorn, and it has probably the only Ectus you will see in the tower here, and a couple other tattoo artists, just like some really hardened ardent here, and they'll give you a tattoo of whatever you want. I think I overheard some ideas being pitched for tattoos during the break. I thought of one that I think would have been hilarious, which would have been a for Amber, a what was it? A magic 8-ball that just says "Don't count on it." Anyway, what are you all getting tattoos
great.
of?
Dude, that's awesome. So the tattoo that she picked out for Prickles is an anchor that has tentacles wrapped around it in honor of our awesome ship. And I think that she really likes that idea, so she's going to get one too in solidarity. And that's going to be like them cementing their friendship.
Oh, well,
Love
it's a 2-for-1 Tuesday, so that works out great.
Woo!
Wonderful.
What do you have to offer?
Oh,
We have some rations aboard the ship, some cured meats, breads, and jellies.
Oh my
I
god.
believe we
Really? And all of the other tattoo artists who are like just like cleaning their equipment for what must be the umpteenth time of the day, all like turn their heads and they look like wide-eyed and desperate. Did you say cured meats?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Happy to help. But we do require payment up front.
I think we will pay them up front, and then maybe take, like, give them a decent portion. And then, since we have a little bit extra, maybe strike up a conversation while we're getting these tattoos.
Yeah.
Would you have picked the Ectus or like one of the Ardent to be your tattoo artist?
I would have let Amber pick.
Well, I would choose the Ectus for you, since he would know, or they would know, how best to work on your skin.
Yes, they have a bunch of tattoos on their own skin.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose the Ectus person to work on you so that you can have the best tattoo.
Yeah, you bring the payment, and the Ectus is going to take the meats and just squish them in their hands and like release them kind of, and they looked like, you know, your charcuterie platter sliced salami or whatever, or chunk of salami, and by the time they let go it looks like dried jerky.
Whoa.
And they'll then like hand it off to the other artists, who just start gobbling it ferociously. And And they basically do the same with the cheese, except the Ectus is willing to like give them like untouched pieces of the cheese. And they
just
like
uses the thorns to like hand him like little cheese skewers.
it's kind of
I love that.
their behavior is frankly kind of embarrassing. Like they have like they kind of like become primal, like turn to primal urges right in front of you when they're like in the middle of a business transaction with you. And as quickly as they jumped on the food, it's gone. And they like wipe crumbs from their hands and mouths. And the Ectus says, "Oh, thank you very much. That was absolutely delicious. Just the smell when it came in, just incredible. Thank you. Anyway, shall we get started? I don't know why the Ectus coughed. He doesn't have lungs, but no throat to clear here. And he'll begin work on the tattoo, and you'll strike up your conversation. You have 3 questions.
I think in very broken Sapric, which is the language of the Ectus, which I don't know very well because I was never really raised by them. I'll maybe ask a question of struggles with food here.
Oh, you have no idea. It's been a long month. Thankfully, the offering is tonight, and we'll get a distribution of food and heat. But, yeah, there's been less and less available. The twin horns are keeping us fed, though. Hopefully, nothing happens to the offering this month.
Kind of shoot a look over to Amber. Give her a little nod towards the direction of her tattoo artist and see if she has something she wants to say.
I think Amber is not a tactful person, so she's just gonna be like, "Why are you all starving? What happened?"
There's just been less and less to go around, you know, these past couple years. And
Years?
Yeah, you know, we're just falling on tough times is all. But the twin horns, they're keeping order. If anyone's breaking the law, they're taking care of it, which means fewer mouths to feed, you know. Good thing there. Yeah, you know, with the engine, it's been tougher and tougher to fuel that thing. Keep it running, keep the heat coming. So more and more resources are going to the hearth to keep it running. But, you know, good on them. Without it being kept running for these hundreds of years, we'd all be dead.
Running for 100 years.
Hundreds, plural.
What do you feed it then?
Well, fuel. I mean, I've never seen it myself, but I think it takes all kinds of fuels that machines consume, you know?
Where would we find the hearth?
Oh, in the Undercity. But that's way down. The port is where resources come in, so that's why we stay up here. But the engine's way below, so the hearth they live way down there.
I think she's gonna take out her photograph of the bodacious babe, Volpa, and be like, "Have you seen this woman?"
Oh, she's beautiful. No, sorry.
And if I were a traveler and I was coming to see the beautiful sights of your city, what would be the first place that I might look?
Well, I've heard the view up and down the tower is kind of nice if you find a nice spot to look up and down. And they describe how the tower kind of has like a spiral to it. It's just kind of like one floor that just continuously wraps down, kind of in like a double helix. And there are no bridges across it. There are like access hatches that will like wrap around within the tower walls themselves, which is how you might get from one of the two descending spirals to the other, is just kind of like exit the spiral in the tower wall and kind of go around and then drop out. So they describe like looking up and down through the double helix of the floors is a sight. But not many people are allowed access down. And they describe how, and if you're looking at the roll 20, there is a threshold, and that's this dotted line here, where people are not allowed past. Only Twin Horns and the Hearth. The Twin Horns to deliver food and supplies and fuel to the Hearth so that they can maintain the engine. Now, a lot of the Hearth, they live up here, kind of near the bottom, and below that threshold. But there are some Hearth members that live above that threshold that you use elevators in the tower's walls to move up and down. But since they keep the engine running, they're allowed to use those.
I'm going to make very significant eye contact with Prickles.
Okay.
Those elevators.
I've lost track of the number of questions.
How many?
I believe we've hit our 3 questions by now.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. Yeah, I just...
how does the tattoo look?
Phenomenal. Well, actually, here. Let me roll. So it looks pretty good, but you can tell that they were not working with perfectly steady hands. So the color is good, the shading is good, the line work not so great. Like, it's not bad.
That's fine. I can deal with that.
But you can tell that shaky hands from perhaps malnutrition. Lack of sustenance. Okay. Amber, do you have the data pad with you, or did you leave it behind?
No, I always have it on me. It's like one of those things that like she refuses to part with. It's like, I imagine that she has like it's like in her shirt. Like,
okay.
She will not be parted with it.
All right. I think the final shot we get then is of Ollie Oxenfree has just a pile of turned over books just opened and just thrown on the floor, and he's like, I can't read any of this. I'll just try again, I guess. And he walks up to the widescreen television that you all had installed on the ship. And on the screen, it just says connection reestablished. And he like goes up and he just like touches the screen and the map appears. And
oh gosh.
There is like a bing, 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 alert. And it's like a wide shot of the map. And it's like shows a big giant ass red spot in the ferns, the spearing fens, and it says over the last several hours, and it asks like, do you want to play? And he presses a button and it just shows that red dot moving all the way through the spearing fens towards the border. And he goes, don't know what that means. I guess I'll let Prickles know when he gets back.
Sounds like a plan.
got it working. I'm proud. I'm gonna go out and see what's what. And he marches off the ship.
Yep, figured that as much.
Maybe I can read after all.
Is this when we finally sacrifice Ollie?
It might be. Nick, how much time do we have left?
As much as y'all are willing to give, because we are 7 minutes over on time.
All right. I would like to have a brief scene with Amber as we walk out, and then give up the rest of any time I have to the other half of the party if they want to get something in before we sign off for the night, if that's cool.
Or maybe set up like a scene to lead into next session or something like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we get the end credits, but then we get this post-credit scene. Go.
As we're walking out and admiring our tattoos and like, Amber,
Trickles.
I think I have a way to get what we need. They're in desperate need of fuel. We have power cells. If we were to give up one of those power cells in trade, we might be able to get our ship restocked, get the information we need, get the help we need to find this Leviathan. But I'm worried that if we let them know in any way that we have that, just going to take it from us.
That's my fear also. That is, we are on the same page. We need to be so smart about who we reveal that to, or even hint that we might be able to help them in some way.
Then
But you're right.
Let's find out what it is we want to gain, and then come up with a plan. Maybe tell them that we found it somewhere and it's still out in the Wildsea. We can take them to it in exchange for what we need. And then we get out a way where we're in a safe position, or we're a place where we can run, and give them the power cell we have, and then leave.
That's a really good idea.
As
That's
long
a
as
really
something
good
crazy
idea.
doesn't show up to throw a chink in the works, I think we should be fine. Let's go find the others.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining us here on Fable Table. We will see you next week, I believe, unless there's anything anyone's got going on that would preclude us from joining you. But otherwise, don't forget to tell everyone you've ever met about us and how much you love us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.